Hey, how you doing? This is Craig Richardson with TCC Global, Our Voice. Hey, I just wanted to do a short snippet as it relates to our people, African American men and African American women. I posted on Facebook earlier today that we have some major issues in our community. We have some major issues in our mindsets as African American men and women. I've been following this Steve Harvey meeting with Trump, and I've been going through Facebook, reading the posts and the responses to Steve Harvey meeting with Donald Trump, President-elect Donald Trump, and I'm saddened. I'm saddened. I'm hurting on the inside because of our people, how we treat each other, not knowing what the real story is, not knowing what's really going on, and we automatically assume that he's selling out. And we don't even realize that we're the sellouts because we're the one in house nigga, field nigga mode. You know, we are actually don't know what his intent was, don't know why he went, don't know what he did when he was there. We don't know. And so, but my thing is, my concept is this: there's always been a covert attack against African Americans when you're dealing with Caucasian or just people in power. There's always been a covert type of attack, which means that there's always been attack behind the scenes, behind closed doors, amongst other races as relate to us. My issue is this: what happens when we go covert? What happens when we go out behind the scenes? Then we begin to scream, you know what I'm saying? Uncle Tom, that's Uncle Tom, bringing all this attention to a man who's working on our behalf, trying to expose him for something he's not. And my whole thing is, I'm nobody, but I wanted to bring that to light, that we are treating Steve Harvey like he is a field nigga trying to escape from the plantation. And we the house niggas. And we want to call Steve Harvey the house nigga. It's us. We the house niggas. I'm saying us. Because we all are programmed and don't even know it. So why don't we stop looking at the negative and begin to look at the positive? In order for us to grow, in order for us to succeed, we got to become one. And this year will not allow us to become one. We're going to continually stay separated. I want you to hear the reason why Steve Harvey met with Donald Trump before you come up with your own conclusion as if he's an Uncle Tom. Regardless, brothers or sisters, I don't care what Steve Harvey has done in his past. I don't care what mistakes he's made in the past. I've made mistakes. You've made mistakes. So what? We're not trying to do what we need to do to move forward. We're too busy hating each other. We're too busy bringing each other down. And we are the last ones that can see it. And these folks that's really racist, they laughing at us. So all I'm asking, listen to what Steve Harvey said. Give this man a chance. Don't show any undercover hate that you've been having since day one. Don't let the crab in the bucket mentality stop us from moving forward.
Steve Harvey had a meeting with President-elect Donald Trump on last Friday, and Steve is here to, actually you called in, Steve, to tell us about that meeting. You've had an interesting last couple of days, to say the least, huh, Steve?
It's been a little bit more than interesting. What I'm going to do, though, Shirley, because I've been getting so many requests for interviews, but since I have my own platform that reaches so many, I decided to make my statement here on my morning show, which has been so relevant for so many years as to getting out messaging. So I'm going to make my statement on it, and it'll be my final statement, and it's directed and aimed at the majority of my listening audience and people everywhere. So I'm going to make my statement concerning my meeting with President-elect Donald Trump. First, I want to say thank you to all the people who have reached out and shown me so much love and support. But I'm also very aware of the anger that so many people feel. And these voices will continue to be heard, as they should. But I have an obligation to take a seat at the table when invited. You know, change can only happen when we sit at the table. If we sit at the table, then we can have a say-so onto what's to be eaten on the menu. If you're not at the table, you can't even refuse the menu or suggest what we should be eating. And so, therefore, it was very important for me to take the meeting.
Okay. All right. Now, Steve, let's get into it. How did this meeting come about in the first place?
Well, several conversations were had prior to the meeting, but I didn't know if it was really real or not until I received an email through my TV show. And it was an email through some people from the Trump side.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave me an opportunity to meet with President-elect Donald Trump. And President Trump did not request this meeting personally, as I understood it, but it was set up by members of his team. And I didn't even know if it would happen until I got an email from an assistant who gave me a time and a day. And Shirley, I want to be clear here.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Trump didn't ask me for any advice or help, and people should know that. I'm assuming that the transition team thought this would be a great meeting between the two of us. And when we met, it was a very cordial meeting. He was very warm, friendly, and honestly, when we talked, he was very sincere. You know, we talked about golf. We talked about favorite golf courses. We talked about the election. And it started as just a meet and greet. I'm not ignorant here. I'm pretty sure, and his team is pretty smart. They know who's in that room, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
They know what side I was on.
Now, Steve, let me stop you right there and just ask you, I'm sure you had to be conflicted to some degree about the phone call, about actually meeting with him. What was the determining factor? What were you trying to do? What was your goal in meeting with him? I know you mentioned something in your opening statement about a seat at the table. Why did you decide that it was important for you to meet with him?
Well, I thought it was important because the only way we can heal the divide in this country is through conversation. I don't think that we will ever unify this country or begin a healing process until we talk to one another.
Bring about some positive change in the inner cities, which I felt was my only agenda.